forgot. So it's really important that for these things, which are very, very enriched with butter, that we keep them cold till we need to use them, okay? So if this was going to be the top of my pie, I definitely would want to keep this cold until I need it. I'm going to start out with a little bit of flour on the bench, and then I'm just going to gently soften the dough by just pounding on the dough just a little bit. Keep flipping it over, turning it around, making sure it's not sticky. Okay? If it starts to crack, all I have to do is just kind of bring the thing back into the center, right? And I can sort of take this time in order to do this to make it round. If you start to roll something round and you start with a shape that's already round, it's going to be easier to keep it round. Okay, so now the dough is nice and soft, pliable, and I can start rolling it out. Okay, same thing with the pâte sucrée, the sugar dough. Right, that I don't want to see any of this sort of Broadway musical sort of rolling. Okay, I want back and forth, turn it, back and forth, turn it. I want to keep, again, I don't want to get too much flour on the bench. I'm going to have to kind of keep flouring it just little tiny bits. Flip it over. Right, turn it to keep it round. Should be about an inch over the edge. One of the things you should kind of get in the habit of doing is sort of running your fingers underneath it and feeling for any thick spots. And I got a little bit of a thick spot there. Okay? So now take the dough, fold it in half, pick it up, lay it into the pie tin, half of the pie tin, and then unfold. Okay, now if I was doing, this was my 2-crust pie, I would just leave it like this. Okay, I wouldn't trim it or anything until I got the top crust on. Now I'm doing the same thing for this that I did with the short dough. Right, I'm bringing it up, letting it really fall into the corners, and then I'm using my fingers, or my thumbs rather, to get it down to the corners so that it really fills in that area there. So there's a couple of different tools I can use to trim it. For the single crust pies, you can use scissors. Right? And you want to trim, you know, until it's about a ½ inch away from the edge of the pie pan. If you do a lot of pies, you can buy pie stamps, okay? And they're basically just giant cookie cutters with a handle that are perfectly round, so if you need a 9-inch pie, right, they will sell you like a 10 3/4 inch cut. Okay? And if you're going to do a lot of pies, that's really the way to go. You get a lot more consistency, a lot less waste. And then you can also use, the nice thing about your knives at this point is they're still pretty sharp. So it's really easy to come around with the paring knife. And then just trim it off. Okay? So now what I'm going to do in order to get my crust is that I'm going to take the pie dough, I'm going to pull it forward and then roll it back down again. Okay? And it should just rest on the edge of that pie. We don't want to fold it, we really want to roll it so that it's a consistent bead all the way around the top. Work your way all the way around the pie. Be careful that you're not pulling up on the pie, the pie shell. Okay, otherwise you're going to get that gap in that bottom corner. A little skinny there at the end. Okay. Now that I've gotten all the way around the edge, now what I'm going to come back and do is just kind of take my fingers and even it out. Okay. And then just a little bit of flour on my fingers. What I'm going to do is kind of do this motion, right? So I'm just going to crimp that together using my thumb and forefinger. Now, this serves two purposes. First of all, it makes the pie look pretty, right? Second of all, it keeps the edge from unrolling, right? If we don't crimp it, it could unravel. All right, I'm sure that you all, everybody's grandmother taught them some way to do that. That's really all that we're doing here. You can do it with you can crimp it like a fork. You can keep it folded and sort of press it into like a little wedge, but this is what I want you guys to do. Right? So now what I'm doing is I'm going to cover it. I do need to dock it, so I can just kind of gently dock it with something around the center. And then I'm going to let it rest refrigerated for, 15 minutes or so. Then I'm going to put a sheet container in it, fill it up with beans, okay? And then I'm going to bake it in the oven. Now remember that until the crust's brown, right, you don't want to pull the beans out. So as soon as you see this edge crust brown, then you can pull the beans out, but then you still have to bake it the remainder of the way. Okay? That's all I got. Oh.
Are we making them on a sheet tray? Or just
these I would just bake them on the rack.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Roll teams, can you stick around for a second?
Thank you, Jeff.